Welcome to My Safety Training Online presents Tractor Safety for Blueberry Farming. We will discuss course objectives, tractor use on blueberry production process, the foundations of tractor safety, the three elements of tractor safety, the operator and safety, and the equipment and the environment and safety. Tractor safety's goals. At the end of the training session, the participant will be able to operate a Massey Ferguson or similar tractor equipment with a high degree of certainty that they will be thoroughly familiar with all aspects of the equipment and operate it safely. Our objectives for this course are a comprehensive understanding of the tractor's mechanical components and their use, the ability to spot and avoid unsafe conditions and acts, a thorough knowledge of the safety features of the equipment. Part 1, Introduction to Tractor Safety and Blueberry Farming. Part 1, Mechanical Components. This course seeks to convey a comprehensive understanding of the use of rollover protective structures, the power takeoff device, proper lubrication of the vehicle, removing and attaching the backhoe and other attachments such as ballast. Recognizing unsafe conditions and acts. Unsafe ballast conditions, potential rollover situations, carrying loads that are unsafe, spotting leaks, carrying bales, removing and carrying materials, traveling in reverse, leveling and scraping activities, as well as digging, backfilling, loading, and removing front weights. We will discuss the unique operation of tractor use on blueberry farms, such as pruning operations. We will go into detail about preparing to prune a field, such as sharpening your blades of your equipment and similar activities. Look for the special section on this. When using safety equipment, look for safety lights and devices that are operational. Use pre-inspection checklists, safety signs, rollover protection structures in good condition, inflating tires to proper width, and setting the tire width. Potential uses for your Massey Ferguson tractor or similar equipment are mowing, mulching, forklift operations, weeding and pruning, and spraying operations. Let's discuss some accident facts first. Death involving tractors, one of the highest of on-job situations, is fact number 1. Fact number 2 is that average of 21 adults die per year in tractor accidents in Florida. Fact number 3, at least 74 deaths involve crushing or overturning. Here we can see pictures of watching for eye protection, the potential rotating shaft hazard, and moving parts hazard. Safety laws require training a tractor operator who is assigned to a new or different tractor, conducting annual retraining or evaluation of tractor operators, evaluating the competence of new or potential tractor operators, and of course documenting all of your training activities. Part 2, Potential Tractor Safety Hazards. Rollovers, runovers, and caught between parts. Rollovers can be prevented according to the operator's manual by installing a rear ballast for stability. Rollovers can also be prevented through the use of wide turns. A tractor operator checklist should be used for ensuring proper use of the vehicle and minimizing potential misuse. Using the widest rear wheel tread setting also helps to maximize stability. OSHA accident incident number 11630969140. Tractor runover incident. An employee attempted to jump-start a tractor while connecting it to two other trucks. He was standing on the front rear tractor tire when he started the unit with a tractor moving forward, and he was run over. OSHA incident caught in a moving parts. Several employees were digging holes with an attached pole hole digger when one had his shirt and pants caught in a moving shaft. His leg twisted and was cut off below the knee. He then hit his head on the moving part and was killed. What are the most commonly reported accidents of serious injury or death with tractors by OSHA? Well, tire blowouts, hydraulic fluid leaks, fire and lightning strikes, rollovers, runovers, caught between moving parts, carbon monoxide poisoning, heat stroke, burns, as well as runovers. Section 3. Three elements of tractor safety: the operator, the environment, and the equipment. Tractor safety. The operator needs to recognize safety information. This is a safety alert symbol that will be on your machine. There are danger, warning, and caution signs to be aware of. Keep your machine in proper working condition through daily maintenance checklists. Replace worn-out safety signs. Read all safety messages. Do not lift or carry anyone in the loader, bucket, or other attachment. Do not use the loader as a work platform. Be sure that people, livestock, and pets are not standing near the machine while in operation. Install the required rear ballast on the tractor for stability. Use the widest rear wheel tread setting to maximize stability. Use calcium chloride mixture in the rear tires if the rear tires are ballasted. Use the correct amount of rear tire weights. Use a correct front wheel tread as well as correct amount of required ballast on a 3-point hitch. Inspect the vehicle's tires daily and use protective clothing. Checking the tire pressure, look for damaged tires and rims, utilize support equipment, and have a return to service criteria. Remove the SMV sign when digging especially deep or narrow holes where the SMV sign could be thrown off or damaged. Use the SMV sign or slow-moving vehicle sign when transporting backhoes on roads and when trailering. The SMV sign is removed behind its bracket situated on the operator's seat of the tractor and repositioned into the bracket of the backhoe bucket cylinder. Use protective clothing. Follow your company's or Blueberry Field Management safety policies regarding the use of personal protective equipment such as safety goggles, gloves, and hard hats while performing tire maintenance. Let's talk about tractor safety on blueberry farms and the use of farm equipment. Before digging, always check for the location of underground cables, gas lines, and water mains by calling the 800 number. Detach the loader on a hard level surface. Before disconnecting hydraulic hoses, relieve all hydraulic pressure. Of course, keep riders off the machine. Okay, here are two hand signals that the operator should be familiar with. The start the engine hand signal and the stop the engine hand signal. The top hand signal here is come to me. The bottom hand signal is move toward me and follow me. The top signal is move out, and the bottom signal is speed it up. The top hand signal is slow it down, whereas the bottom hand signal is raise the equipment. The top hand signal is lower the equipment by pointing to the ground with the forefinger. The bottom hand signal is this far to go, putting your hands in front of your face, palms apart from each other. The top hand signal is stop by raising your arm straight up. Okay, it's time to start talking about hooking up those attachments to our tractor safely. Here we can see a backhoe service schedule where after assembly you will lubricate all the pivot points and grease fittings, down to the 100-hour service where you'll clean inside the valve covers. 50 hours calls for lubricating the stabilizer points, 10 hours calls for lubricating the swing cylinders and swing frame and boom dipper. Use a pre-use checklist before taking the unit into operation and learn the controls before you operate them. Operate the controls only when you are in the driver's seat, except when you install or remove a backhoe. When working with backhoe attachments, remember to install a tractor PTO shield before you do. Lift only with a backhoe. Fasten the chains to the object that you wish to move, and avoid jerking or swinging boom. And of course, don't let anybody under the object that you're about to move. This is important. Do not use the backhoe as a towing vehicle. It is not designed for that purpose. Structural damage can occur to the backhoe, the tractor, and the attachment. Check out the operating instructions. When handling the backhoe attachment, remember to extend the boom and dipper strip cylinders until you can fasten the chain to the object. Fasten the chain to the dipper stick at approximately 50 millimeters, 2 inches above the bucket pin. Fasten the chain to the object. Raise the boom to full height and extend the dipper stick cylinder if needed. Fifth, retract the dipper stick cylinder to lift the load. Transporting the backhoe. To help prevent injury while transporting the backhoe, first look for people or obstacles before you change directions. Lock the backhoe in a transport position. Keep as far to the right of the road as possible. Go slow using the safe travel speed. Raise the boom all the way up and center it. Retract the dipper stick. Raise the left and right stabilizers to the highest position. Stop the engine. Lock the park brake. Install a swing lock pin. Install a boom lock pin. Install the slow-moving vehicle sign. Pivot the backhoe seat forward to the vertical position. Here we can see a chart using a 430 loader for the ballasting minimum requirements. If you had tread width less than 59 inches, or your rear tires have a liquid ballast, or rear tires with liquid ballast and 6-wheel weights, or minimum 3-point hitch ballast requirements. Here you have minimum ballasting for the 970 and 1070 tractors, showing the minimum tread width, rear tires without liquid ballast, rear tires with liquid ballast, and minimum 3-point hitch ballast. Here we can show you a chart that shows you how to add ballast to a 3-point hitch. Read your operator's manual for your specific type of equipment. Okay, let's talk about the PTO, or power takeoff device. A rotating PTO can rotate at 540 revolutions per second, wrapping 7 feet per second. In 1/4 of a second, the PTO will wrap 21 inches from your shoulder to your fist. In 1/2 of a second, the PTO will wrap 42 inches, about the length of your leg. In 3/4 of a second, a PTO will wrap 64 inches, about the height of an average person. In 1 second, a PTO will wrap 85 inches, or about the height of an average doorway. A pre-use checklist. Check your vehicle brake action before you operate. Adjust or service the brakes as necessary. Inspect the machine before you operate it. Be sure the hardware is tight. Repair or replace damaged or badly worn or missing parts, and be sure the guards and shields are in good condition and fastened in place. Make any necessary adjustments before you operate the equipment. Do not leave the machine unattended when it is running. Only operate during daylight and with good artificial light. Okay, this should go without saying, but do not let anyone, especially children, to ride on the machine or vehicle. Before you back up, look carefully behind the tractor for anyone, and do not let untrained persons operate the equipment. Do not wear radio or music headphones when operating the machine. Safe operation requires your full attention. Control vegetation that can hide hazards, increasing the turn area at the end of the roads. Eliminate blind curves or corners and rough, slippery surfaces. The minimum distance recommended for operating equipment near embankments is a 1-to-1 ratio to the depth of the embankment. Remember, this distance increases with adverse soil conditions such as sandy or wet soil. Securely fasten your seatbelt if the tractor has an ROPS. Wherever possible, avoid operating the tractor near ditches, embankments, and holes. Reduce the speed when turning, crossing slopes, or on rough, slick, or muddy surfaces. Okay, we've said this before, but let's say it again. Operate the tractor smoothly. No jerky turns, starts, or stops. Hitch only to the drawbar and hitch points recommended by the truck manufacturer. And when the truck is stopped, set the brakes securely. Use the park lock if available. Part 5. Pruning your blueberry field with your tractor. Pruning is one of the few hands-on intensive tasks of a blueberry field. Pruning will maximize the bush productivity through an elimination of older, less productive canes. Pruning will encourage appropriate growth habits. Get necessary equipment together. If pruning guns are necessary, put together the required numbers, sharpening the blades of your tractor if you have not done it recently. Decide on a pruning schedule based on your particular plantings. Okay, here you can see an example of Fusicocum cankers, a disease issue which needs to be addressed. You can do this by assembling the proper equipment available at your normal hardware store. The easy steps to pruning are first to remove the damaged canes. Remove canes that rub against another cane that spread the canker disease. Then lastly, remove the older canes and those that are obstructing the movement through the alleys. Step 4 is remove any short branch canes within the canopy. Fruit on these interior can ripen too late to be harvested. Remember to cut canes to be removed as close to the crown as possible, leaving a short stubby branch. The benefits of pruning will be reduced disease and insect pressure and minimizing the need for chemicals and power equipment. Should your pruning activities need to be the use of chemicals, it is suggested the use of a safety data sheet should be obtained with those chemicals. You may need to use a bush hog or a flail mower, as well as a weed whacker. Personal protective equipment will include gloves, goggles, and safety shoes, and whatever appropriate spraying chemicals that you need to use. A hog mower can become dull and not cut with ease, which puts an extra strain on your tractor engine. You have to remove and sharpen the blade to get your bush hog mower cutting grass and weeds with ease again. Slide the auto jack under the side of the bush hog. Jack up the side of the mower about 1 foot. Slide the jack under the edge of the bush hog as a safety precaution in case the jack gives out while you are under the mower. Crawl under the bush hog after the safety precautions are in place. Fit the proper size wrench on 3 bolts and nuts holding the blade to the center shaft under the mower. Remove the bolts and nuts and pull the blade off the shaft. Put on leather gloves and safety goggles. Hold the blade with one hand while running the steel filler along the dull blade edge with your other hand. Hold the steel filer at a 40-degree angle to the blade and move it up and down the blade's edge. Do this to both sides and the both ends of the blades. Tighten the blade back up under the bush hog and then remove the jack stand and lower the auto jack. Part 8, Tractor Safety Summary. Seek immediate medical attention if you suffer hydraulic injection injury. Climb the steps facing the tractor with both hands and on the grab bars. Adjust the seat so that all of your feet and hands can easily reach the controls and the steering wheel. Never start the engine from anywhere other than the operator's seat. The most common type of rollover accidents are side rollovers. Keep the heavy end of the tractor facing the hill when you must operate on the slope. When a tractor speed increases, it is more likely to roll over. Use proper markings and lightings on all tractors. Correct dangerous patterns before taking vehicles on the road. Be aware of power line locations and learn the controls before you operate. Operate the controls only when you are in the driver's seat, except when you install or remove a backhoe. Be sure all your tractor PTO shields are installed, and be in the seat when operating digging controls. Digging safely. Lower stabilizers to the ground. Keep the loader bucket low on the ground. An SMV or slow moving vehicle sign is removed from behind its bracket of the operator's seat on the tractor and repositioned into the bracket on the backhoe bucket cylinder. Caution. When in the digging position, avoid serious injury or death by checking for buried electrical lines, gas pipes before you dig. Thanks for participating from the gentle folks of MySafetyTrainingOnline.com.